news from the world of weight loss. Scientists followed contestants from the TV show The Biggest Loser, and they found that when the cameras went off, the weight often came back on. Their new study contains some hard and surprising findings about our bodies, and here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
It was a record-breaking moment. After shedding an astonishing 239 pounds, Danny Cahill became the contestant to lose the most weight ever during NBC's reality show, The Biggest Loser.
Danny lost 239 pounds.
He went home with $250,000 that night, literally half the man he used to be.
Danny, your starting weight is 430 pounds.
But it was what came after the after photos that proved the biggest shock to Danny and many of the other contestants.
I didn't want anybody to know I was on The Biggest Loser because obviously I don't look like that anymore.
That's because little did they know what had dropped along with their weight was their metabolism.
It's disheartening to know that you can't eat like a normal person.
But what would turn out to be a setback for the majority of the contestants,
I've put back 104 pounds.
Would prove to be a breakthrough to understanding why so many dieters struggle to keep off the weight they lose. In a new NIH study that has everybody talking, scientists followed 14 of the 16 contestants from season 8 of The Biggest Loser, monitoring them for 6 years after the show. They found that all but one had gained some of the weight back. 4 of them even reported being heavier now than at the beginning of the show.
When you attempt to change your body weight, your biology will fight back.
Dr. Kevin Hall is the lead scientist behind the study. He says that while the contestants all had a normal metabolism for their size at the start of filming, years after, their metabolism began to slow down, a mechanism he says the body uses to return to its original weight.
So after you lose weight, your body's metabolic rate will slow down. In other words, the number of calories that your body requires in order to maintain life is going to decrease. That's going to make it difficult for you to keep the weight off.
Are you ready?
Huge implications at a time when we are inundated with weight loss shows and endless celebrities going public with their own struggles.
And I have eaten bread every single day.
Struggles that 6 years later, Danny Cahill continues to face.
I've had people look at me and tell me I ought to be ashamed of myself because you need to just get your butt up and walk around the block a few times. Well, it's not that easy.
As the winner of that season, Cahill felt he also had the most to lose. 430 pounds before the show, 191 pounds right after. And since then, he's gained back more than 100 pounds.
Was this sustainable, the weight loss that you had?
It's not at all. When I went to the ranch, I was there for 90 days and I worked out. So I quit my job. That's why I won the show and that's why I did what I did, because I made it my job. But we're finding out that in order for us to keep our calorie burn at the same rate of a normal person, that we're having to work out 2 hours a day.
He says his metabolism dropped to such a low point, in order to maintain his current 295 pounds, he has to eat 800 calories less than a typical man his size.
I started eating like a normal man would to be even, and I wasn't staying even, and that was what was disheartening. And I heard this from all the other Biggest Loser contestants.
It's extremely difficult to keep weight off because your body doesn't want to do it. And on top of that, your desire to eat increases. So it is the perfect storm for weight regain.
Which might explain why the study found plummeting levels of leptin among the contestants, a hormone thought to control hunger, without which many of the contestants often felt hungry.
Like, man, I kind of failed, Here I went on national TV and became this, person for people to look up to, and now I've gained this weight.
Dina Mercado was also part of the study. She was 248 pounds before the show, down to 173.5 pounds at the end, and now back to 206 pounds. She says the results of the study have helped her understand why it's taken so much effort to maintain her ideal weight.
I have no idea what it's going to be like in 15 years as my metabolism continues to slow, and that's, I guess, what I'm afraid of.
A fear that's led her to question her decision to join the show in the first place.
Had I known what I know today, I have to say I probably would have not done the show.
But the creator of The Biggest Loser defends his show.
When the people leave our show, they are better off than being 400 pounds. I do think the study could have done things a little bit differently. I would have also liked them to take 14 people who kept the weight off.
In fact, he says the study may have unintentional negative results.
Anytime you tell somebody that it's not them, it's something else, it gives them kind of a way to excuse the fact that they really want to eat that donut.
But Danny says for him and many other contestants, it's helped relieve some of the crushing shame that came along with the weight gain.
I've heard from obese people all over Facebook and Twitter. Everybody's messaging me going, I knew this was going on. This makes me feel better about where I am. Not an excuse, but at least some of that shame can be lifted, and now we can say, where do we go from here?
One of Danny Cahill's closest friends during his stint on the show, fellow contestant 26-year-old Amanda Arlauskis.
It's great that the world knows that Biggest Loser contestants who are so quickly judged, that we aren't just lazy and that we didn't waste an opportunity and we're not just gaining weight back.
Over the course of the season, she lost 87 pounds. Since the show wrapped 7 years ago, she's now gained back 12 of those pounds, giving hope to many that weight loss can sometimes be maintained. And joining a list of celebrities who've gone public with weight loss that appears to be permanent, like Jennifer Hudson and Bill Clinton. But she says it's an extremely difficult daily struggle.
In order just to maintain my weight, I have to eat less than 1,400 calories a day.
What is 1,400 calories a day?
I mean, it's almost nothing. I'm not full off 1,400 calories, and I find myself in a constant, well, maybe I shouldn't eat right now. And it is almost like an eating disorder in a way, because it's like I have to restrict everything I do.
Like Danny, she breathed a sigh of relief when this most recent study was released. Finally, an explanation for questions she's long had about her struggle, but she's concerned about the long-term ramifications.
Now that I know that I'm burning 600 calories less per day than I was 6 years ago, what does the future hold for me? I almost feel like my body it's like my destiny is, am I going to gain all the weight back? Is my destiny going to be as an overweight woman because my body is fighting me?
Amanda says for her, one of the most important motivational tools in the fight to keep the weight off is, of all things, Instagram.
So I've made sure that I go on social media a lot. My Instagram, I've got over 83,000 followers, and it's honestly because I just want to be as raw and real as I can with people, because I found that doing that keeps me accountable.